All right, so chapter 2 of The Mandalorian just dropped today, and I watched it this morning, and I really, really liked it. I'll give you a quick little review, and then we're going to go into some hot takes by some people who claim to write for the media. They live out in California. Of course, they always do. And they have some hot takes. Have some hot takes on The Mandalorian. Say it was ruined. It was ruined by several factors. So we're going to get into that. But I do want to say that I am really liking this show. Really liking this show. This show is what we should have been getting from Disney Star Wars from the beginning. We've already seen more aliens in this show than have been in the entire sequel trilogy, which I find funny. Like, they just get it. This show is really good. I was a little concerned about the Mandalorian from the beginning because he doesn't say much. But the more I watch the show, I'm thinking, well, this is fine. This is working. I'm really liking it. The atmosphere is good. A lot of nostalgia. The stuff with the Jawas. Of course, there's going to be spoilers in this, by the way. So you might want to come back after you've watched chapter 2. This chapter was very, very good. The Jawa stuff, like I was saying, was really, really cool. It made me wonder if they were on Tatooine. So they never really say where he's at planet-wise. I don't remember if they did in the first chapter that he just went somewhere. It probably isn't Tatooine. It's interesting that there's Jawas on other planets then. Though I could be wrong. He could be on Tatooine. They never say. So the music, much better. Everything overall is still carrying pretty strong on this show. I'm very interested to where it's going to go. I'm liking that civilization is kind of rebuilding and that we get to see little pockets of remnants of the Empire. I think this is all really cool, really good world building, and the show, so far to me, is helping Star Wars get a little bit better. This could, of course, be thrown into the trash if Rise of the Skywalker is a complete dud. And I think that it will be a complete dud. I think it's going to be terrible and a disaster. But for now, at least we get a really good show. And I also want to point out, I've been playing Star Wars Fallen Order. Jedi Fallen Order. It's actually a really good game. I'm shocked. Like, it's crazy. We have this show so far. It's been really, really good. And we have that game. It's fun to like Star Wars again, which, it's been a while. And I think, we'll see Rise of the Skywalker. I don't have much faith in. Now, if they announce that the people behind this show are making the next trilogy, I would probably be a little bit more happy. Though we're only 2 chapters in, we'll see. But everybody else, how's everybody else dealing with The Mandalorian? Well, so far, pretty good. The critics are giving it a pretty high score. Rotten Tomatoes and audience scores are actually pretty high. But as far as people in the media, people that live in California, who make lots of money, by the way, if you missed that video that I did, the person I'm talking to probably makes close to $100,000, lives in Los Angeles, of course, the people that pretty much want to tell us how society should run, everyone in California, they know what's best in their ivory tower. Well, this person claims that The Mandalorian is hurt by capitalism. All right, so we head over to the Asylum, known as Fox, and we see this headline. Disney Plus's Star Wars series, The Mandalorian, is a triumph of atmosphere and little else. Of course, we have a writer here, and I checked the location. She's from Los Angeles. Of course she is. That's the place where all the big brain thinkers live. It's a huge ivory tower filled with human feces at the bottom because they don't clean up their city streets. But hey, they say we should all be like them. They know what's best. They know what's best for you and what you should be watching, like this person says here. So, what's going on? Well, The Mandalorian has some issues. Disney didn't give critics access to Disney Plus early. Oh, no, they didn't do that. What was the reason for that? Well, she comes to the conclusion that when Disney Plus launches, everyone would be Googling Disney Plus, is it worth it, and such. Therefore, Disney is basically using journalists to, get people's excitement up and looking into The Mandalorian right there, right then. I don't really see a problem with that, but let's take a look at what she has to say. I'm going to go right here. I'm going to start a little bit into the review. Say, what's more clear is that Disney withheld The Mandalorian from critics, who are generally very good at playing nice with spoilers, to ensure that there would be a wave of press coverage, positive or negative. On Disney Plus launch morning, people who work in entertainment media, myself included, know you will be Googling for information about the show, and so does Disney Plus. It also knows that lots of different outlets will feel they essentially have to write about it for that reason. So here we all are. I could, of course, refuse to participate in this system, which is so nakedly and openly exploited by corporations that want free promotion for their products. But I also know that were I on the other side of the equation, I would be Googling The Mandalorian Disney Plus review or something similar. I'm interested. You're interested. Capitalism exploits that interest.
How dare you?
So because Disney didn't want any negative press before Disney Plus launched, you're going to hold that against them. And the fact that they're basically using you for their benefit. I don't see anything wrong with that. But of course, we live in Los Angeles, California, and we must hate the system. We got to hate it. We got to throw shade on it. Why not use the Mandalorian review that you're writing? Because you know people are going to read it because it's a hot topic right now, to push your narrative, to push your agenda. Because if you were truly a hater of capitalism, you would not participate in the system at all by doing this article. So you're doing what they want. But I got good news for you. No one's going to Vox for a Mandalorian review. No one's going to really click on and read this article anyway. They're going to go to YouTube and watch reviews over there where there's plenty. Where they can watch people review something and not get called istophobes and toxic and bad people. There was something else that was really funny in here that I wanted to point out. So we go, the name of this article is like the good, the bad, and the ugly in some ways. What's some of the bad for her? Well, bad characters. What characters? Pedro Pascal is one of the planet's most handsome men. He was gorgeous as the Viper on Game of Thrones, and he was glorious in Netflix Narcos. And the second I found out he would play the lead on this show, I was thrilled for him to have taken yet another big step in his journey towards world domination. But my assumption was that The Mandalorian wouldn't simply cast the hugely charismatic actor and then trap him behind a mask for its entire running time, stranding him in a space where he's deprived a lot of what makes him charismatic. Those eyes. And yet the show's first episode has one of the world's most handsome men behind a mask, while also giving him minimal dialogue. It's objectively a terrible idea. I'll tell you what's objectively a terrible idea. Objectifying a man like a piece of meat and saying that the only thing that makes him appealing is his face and how handsome he is, and how dare they hide that hot face behind a mask. Isn't that kind of a double standard? Because when I went to your Twitter timeline, Emily, I noticed you throw a lot of stones at people about sexist jokes that comedians make. What do you think you're doing right here? Isn't this kind of sexist that you're saying that Pedro Pascal should show his face because it turns you on, because you find it attractive? So he should definitely run around. His only value as an actor is how handsome he is. You got to see those eyes. But these people being hypocrites is nothing new. Though I see you do spend a lot of time talking about this topic. You should really practice what you preach, shouldn't you? Because imagine if this had been a woman in the lead and someone had written that in their article. These people would be throwing stones at him all day on Twitter and talking about how terrible of a person they are. But it's okay if they objectify men. That's different. That doesn't count. Of course, these people are no strangers to hypocrisy. Look at this. Look at the same author on both these articles. Little Black Mermaid haters, you need to let it go. Referring to the fact that they cast Little Mermaid as a POC, which I don't really care, to be honest. I haven't really seen any backlash to this. There's manufactured backlash to this, I believe. I did a video on that a long time ago. But listen to this. Same author Go to the next article. This Julia Pennyworth casting choice in Batwoman is wrong. It's the same concept. Okay, we have a POC as Alfred's daughter. Oh no, they casted somebody of a different tone for that role in the show? Shouldn't you just let it go? So overall, this isn't a hit piece on the show, but there's just a lot of garbage in here, taking half the article to slam on capitalism, to objectify the main character. And then there's another take where the author says, oh, why is this show like a Western? Why, it's got spaghetti Western themes. I mean, have you watched any old Star Wars stuff, lady? There's a lot of Western themes in Star Wars. But of course, you've probably never watched anything outside of the Disney stuff. It's pretty obvious from your review. And of course, why would you watch anything other than the Disney stuff? I mean, we got to watch the inclusive checkbox hitting Disney trilogy. Of course, that's all this person cared about anyway. The final part was when they talk about Baby Yoda, which I'm pretty sure everyone knows is common knowledge. It's not Baby Yoda, but it's a Yoda alien race, whatever they are. They never really say what they're called, at least in Disney canon. I don't think they've ever officially named what he is. That's kind of a payoff. We might get to find out a little bit more about his species in this. But that's not the case here. She doesn't really care about that. She sees this as a reason for them to sell Yoda dolls in the store. And it's like, do you know anything about the history of Star Wars? They make toys for everything in the series. Of course, they want to make Yoda dolls, Baby Yoda dolls. What do you think this is? Oh, that's right. It's a capitalistic world, and we can't have that. So we gotta throw a little more shade. So surprisingly, this is really one of the only hit pieces I've seen on this show. I thought there'd be more because, like Sonic the Hedgehog, which the company went and redesigned the movie to make people happy. People have been complaining about it. They bent the knee to the audience. We're the elite. They should like what we like. Oh, we shake our fingers vigorously at them. No, for the most part, people have been liking this through and through, critics and audience. But there's always some people that want to party poop on people's parades. And I just thought this was funny. We got to hate on The Mandalorian because of capitalism. We also have to throw a negative score on it because I can't see Pedro Pascal's hot eyes, which I just find really incredibly funny and hypocritical because let's say I was working at Vox and I wrote an article about Rise of Skywalker and I gave the movie a negative diss because I couldn't see Rey's hot butt. Imagine what would happen, right? I would be fired, probably canceled, and I would never work in media again. That's just kind of my point. It's okay for them to do it to men, but how dare you do it to a woman? Anyway, that's pretty much it. Mandalorian's great so far. Still really liking it. Still the best Star Wars we've gotten in a long, long time. The Jedi Fallen Order is pretty good as well. I can't give you a full review on it because I'm not that far into it, but I do think that it's pretty decent of a game, so check it out if you want to. And that's pretty much it. Make sure you're still subscribed. Leave me a comment. What are you thinking about Jedi Fallen Order? What are you thinking about hypocrisy that these people live by? What are you thinking about Mandalorian? How are you liking it? Did you like the new chapter? Give me your thoughts because comments and your likes really help videos with engagement score, really help them move through the algorithm. So if you ever want to do anything for somebody you like on YouTube for a creator, those are two things you can do to really help them. And you can share their video. That also helps as well. And, make sure you still subscribe. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell. And I will see all of you on the next one. Peace. Also, take a moment. Make sure you're still subscribed to the channel. There's something going on right now, and they've been unsubscribing people. So just take a second and double check on that. And subscribe if you're new. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.